Hey guys, so we need to talk about that last video. Now, yesterday I put out a video about what's going on in the Halloween community, what the old rumor mill is spitting out right now, and that is a bunch of online sources with other anonymous sources supposedly leaking the plot of Halloween Ends. Now, I tried to paint a picture for you that this was not gospel, that this is in fact just rumors and leaks. I even put leaks in quotes in my title. In the description box, I let you know that, like, hey, don't put all your stock in this. This is just some fun stuff to talk about. I'm a Halloween fan. I am not a reporter. I am not breaking news. I did not claim any of this was official. So I'm sorry if anybody was misled. And some of you seem to really buy into what you heard yesterday. Some of you called me like a genius and you're happy that I finally came around to your side because you've been saying these things for months apparently. And you're just glad that it's finally out there and that everyone knows they're going to see Halloween Ends because you think it is that surefire and concrete that is what you were getting. And the rest were like, this is stupid. What a bunch of nonsense. You're an effing moron. And I'm here to say, like, never said that it was actually going to happen that way. I told you some guy online that a lot of other people believe is saying that. And this guy supposedly has a decent track record at guessing these things. But to be the devil's advocate and look at it from a different angle, he has a good track record of predicting things like what was going to happen in Halloween Kills. And was that really that difficult a task? We are not talking about a super complex, twisty movie. There's no Shyamalanian twist in the third act. It was a slasher movie that was very light on story. And I think a lot of us could have presumed what was going to happen. I myself did prediction videos and I nailed quite a few of them. So I could go online and just do this crap if I wanted to. So I'm not saying that you are to believe any of that. And if you want my honest opinion, when I saw these things on Reddit and I was reading this, I was like, what? I sure as shit hope that doesn't happen in Halloween Ends. It's fascinating to think about. It's fun to read about. What fun conjecture. I'm a Halloween fan. I would need to go talk to other Halloween fans about this. That is why I have this channel. That is why we have this community. It was not to be taken as hard-hitting news that you should put your every faith into. So I'm sorry if any of you did that. Because if you want my honest interpretation of things, no way it can go down like this, right? I mean, maybe it can. I don't have the utmost respect for David Gordon Green and his team and what they are doing with this trilogy as it stands. I was supremely let down by Halloween Kills. And so I'm a little bit inclined to believe Halloween Ends is going to have some tomfoolery in it. It's going to have some elements that upset folks. And that when Jamie Lee Curtis said it was going to anger people, that it will anger people, but not to this extent. I don't think that means that Michael Myers has to die in the first 15 minutes. I'm not seeing enough evidence for that. I tend to believe that something could happen to where we have some copycats. You remember in Halloween 4 where they're on the streets and all of a sudden all these trick-or-treaters come out wearing the coveralls and the Michael Myers mask? And Loomis for a second thinks that he's everywhere? Maybe you're getting some of that. Maybe the townsfolk believe that they did get Michael, that they did kill Michael Myers, but he's still out there. We've seen him take an ass kicking and keep on ticking so far in this trilogy. Some people are saying that he's going to become supernatural, that he will be killed at the radio tower, and that his specter will sometimes come back on Halloween to haunt the folks of Haddonfield. It's an interesting idea. Don't necessarily know about that, especially since David Gordon Green has come out and said that his Michael Myers is not supernatural. Now, according to this theory we talked about yesterday, Michael Myers would be killed at the radio tower and then we would jump forward 4 years. And then what? What would happen in that movie? You're telling me all the stuff that's already confirmed, like what was seen at CinemaCon, where we had a conflict between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, that was an hallucination, that was a dream, that was some sort of vision? Then what about the images we've seen of Lindsay Wallace hiding? That is also a dream, a vision, an hallucination? So you're telling me that in this version of Halloween Ends, the first chunk would be Michael Myers dying, and then some sort of title card that comes up and says 4 years later, and then we'd have a significant chunk of time that is mostly stuff that's not grounded in the film's reality. It's just flashbacks, visions, hallucinations. What type of film would that be? What type of trilogy would this be? That would mean 2018 was a real film. The second movie, it was a fun slasher film, not a lot of substance to it, hardly any story. And then the third movie, also hardly any story because it's all just a bunch of thoughts and tangents that aren't actually happening for these characters. What will we be doing here, everybody? I mean, okay, sure, you can talk about how this town has been affected by the legacy of Michael Myers and his killings. But what are you really going to do there? I talked about you could have people pop up and be copycats. And how would that strike people? What are you going to do with Laurie Strode and Allison? Yes, Laurie looks like she's had her glow up and she's doing great. She could be happy thinking Michael Myers is dead, but that would then make me think he's still out there and that Allison is still grinding this axe and she can't give up the ghost. She thinks Michael is coming back. She's ultimately going to be proven right. And, you know, it's going to have some friction between her and her grandmother. But in the end of the day, they'll get that resolved and they will take on Michael in tandem. That makes more sense to me. Then you also have to factor in all the stuff that we know about Glass Hill. Now, Glass Hill is a place that Dr. Sartain looked at as being hell on earth. It was even worse than his sanitarium. It was even worse than Smith's Grove. So what does that say about this place and what's going to happen there? We know that people were cast to play roles in Glass Hill. So what about those folks? How would they factor in if there's no Michael? What are we doing here? So we're just going to kill off Michael in the first bit, and then we're going to go have some other person in an asylum be broken out and go on a killing spree? We're just going to completely retcon all the sequels, make 2 movies, and then get to a 3rd movie and just kind of remake the original movie then? We're just going to have another Michael Myers-like character breaking out of an asylum, stalking and slashing in Haddonfield? What are we doing here? That's not interesting. You could say it just proves that evil is everlasting and you can't kill it off, that there's been this passing of the baton, but that wouldn't be the way to do it. I'm seeing a lot of people online talking about that they would like to see the movie end with somebody in the asylum getting out or killing somebody, Allison overhearing this and realizing that you can't put an end to things. I think that would be way more interesting than doing it in the previous form that I just described. That would just be lazy. It would be nonsensical. It'd be way too cyclical. It just would be the same thing. It'd almost be like a remake, and you'd be made fun of in the court of public opinion if you're David Gordon Green and Co., if you are Blumhouse. So instead, wouldn't it make sense if this person who's leaking information is hearing the occasional rumor, and they're trying to piece things together, and they're taking all the different fan theories that we've all been spouting and speaking about over the past few months, and they're just trying to put it together, and they're going to get part of it right, but not all of it right. I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm not trying to tell you what's going to happen here. You don't know what's going to happen here, and that's a good thing. That way we can anticipate the movie and we can be caught off guard by things as it should happen. So as of right now, I don't believe fully in it. I don't believe that rumor. I don't think it's going to hit it out of the park. Maybe it reaches the warning track, but it's going to get certain things wrong. You know, maybe Michael does get apprehended. Maybe he gets caught at his window. You have to think about in the flashback of Halloween Kills, he allows himself to be apprehended by Loomis and Co. So maybe here he's sitting there at Judith Meyer's window and he allows himself to be apprehended and he ends up at Glass Hill. I think that would be a creepy movie in the asylum, having Michael Myers in the asylum. He doesn't even have to break out. Maybe this time Allison breaks in to try to kill him. That would be interesting. That would be new. That'd be a way to do something that kind of rejuvenates the franchise and has a fresh angle. It's not just the same old thing where we have to break out Michael Myers the day before Halloween or the night of Halloween, which never really makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. That would be an interesting way to do it. Another way to do it would be like we talked about, where it looks like he died. It looks like he got killed by firing squad or something like that. And then 4 years later, everyone thinks he's dead. And you start to think you have copycat killers. And Laurie is like, no, look, this happens. The world is an ugly, rough place. But there's also a lot of good, Allison. We have to lean on each other in our community. We can't let our trauma overtake us. We have to heal. She's saying things like that. And Allison is like, no. Michael's still out there. We saw the billboard about the missing girl. Maybe they think this asylum kid everybody keeps talking about is the person that killed that missing girl. And then third act, boom, big twist. Turns out it was actually Michael Myers. He's been around this entire time. He is the cave dweller that is so talked about and so rumored about. That is the working title of the movie. See what I'm saying, guys? Anybody can do this type of thing. Anybody can spit out ideas that seem plausible and you can make a case for it and you can leave breadcrumbs and say, hey, there's your evidence. That is why it's going to happen in the movie. But we don't know. So I'm sorry if anybody was misled by yesterday's video. I saw something on Reddit. I told you I saw something on Reddit. I told you it was interesting. I told you that some people believe this person and why they believe that person. I told you what made sense about that theory. I tried to talk about what didn't make sense about that theory, and I apologize if I didn't do a good enough job. So there you go. That is where we leave it right now. Do you buy into it? Do you buy into what these online personalities are saying? These people who are leaking information. Do you buy into Michael Myers being flushed out of his childhood home to the radio tower, killing one person, being killed, and then us jumping forward 4 years to do who the hell knows what? Because apparently I wasn't clear enough yesterday that I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I think some of these other ideas that I talked about are way more plausible. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. I'm glad we're getting closer to Halloween ends. I can't wait to see how we wrap this baby up, whether it just elates me or it just leaves me feeling downtrodden and pissed off. No matter what. You know what? We're Halloween fans. We're used to that. We've had high highs and very, very low lows. You take the good with the bad, and I can't wait to see what we're going to get. So other than that, all I really got to ask you to do is that old YouTube yada, yada, yada. You know, like, comment, subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. I will try to talk to you folks down in the comment section. I got to get caught up because yesterday's comment section was like wildfire. So I'll do my best to talk with each of you. And of course, have yourself a great day. I'm Nate from Nate Merflick saying that's a wrap.